welcome to Lesson 5. My name's Darlene Walton, and here we are again, and we're going to learn the glissando. Plural is glissandi. I didn't realize that until I was looking up some references on it, but it's the glissando, and it's the most familiar sound of the harp. The glissando is one of the favorite sounds the harp makes, and it's also one of the easiest to do. You simply use your first finger and you go up the scale, all the way up, hitting each note with your finger to whatever point you wish to stop on. Now it's best if you curve and kind of work it a little bit, because if you go, it just doesn't sound right. So it does take some practice to get the proper technique. When you're coming down from a glissando, you kind of curve up. So it's an arc or an arch. When you're coming up, it's like the bottom half of the circle. When you're doing both, it's sort of an up and down motion like this. And you can do it with both hands or one. If you're doing both, you sort of have a gun going on there. Sounds very pleasant to most everybody. Now, I have included all of the notes in the C major scale in the glissandi, that's the plural, that I just did. If you want to make it more pure and put it in what we call the angel mode, you tune to the pentatonic scale. I'm not going to do that here today, but I'm going to tell you how, and it's written on your paper. So if you want to print off your printable papers for this lesson, you'll find it right there under glissandi. What you do is raise the third and the seventh degree. So we would tune the E to an E sharp and tune the B to a B sharp. So your E sharp is the same as F, so these two notes would be just the same. And the B sharp and the C would be just the same. So it would cut out the E and the B completely, and it just gives you a pure scale. The pentatonic scale cuts out the third and the seventh, and it's called the angel mode. You can play songs in that, but you can't play songs that have an E natural or a B natural, because you just took those out. So you have to be rather selective in the melody lines of the songs you play. But for the just general use, you can just play it, just tune to the key that you're playing in. The glissando looks like this on the paper. A little squiggly line, and sometimes you see it as a straight line. It just depends on what the writer of the song wishes to do. Now, obviously from the way it looks, this glissando is going up, this one's coming down. This one starts on a C, goes up 2 octaves and stops on that C, comes back down to the middle C, goes up 2 octaves, comes back down. It is precise on where it starts and stops. So you'd start on the middle C, go up to that C. Now in order to stop, you have to push past that and lean your finger on the next note. Like that. If you go too far, you'll hear it. You hear that D? I went too far. If you don't go far enough, you'll hear that too. Just doesn't sound complete. So you want to go all the way up to where you're supposed to stop. Coming down is the same way. You go past the C, lean on the B. See, I went too far, and it really sticks out. Glissandos are fun to put in a song, but they don't fit into every song. You have to be selective in using them. I remember one time I was going to play a flute, play with my daughter on the flute, and we were going to play for church. So I told her to pick out a hymn, and I put glissandos in it, and it just doesn't work. Some songs were meant to have glissandos, and some just weren't. We finally found one that was meant to be, and it sounded really pretty. You can put them at the beginning of songs more easily. But when you're trying to work it into the middle of a song, you have to make sure it sounds right. You have to make sure it fits. And you can start and stop it on any note you want to, Most of the time on the bottom they just sort of start in a non-specific place, just down somewhere. More specifically, they end on a certain note, because that note will go on into the rest of the song. And we're going to do Greensleeves in just a little while that has a glissando in it, and you'll see that you have to be precise on ending that glissando in the right place and at the right time. I've given you some examples. You can just practice these just up and down with your glissandos. Practice getting some feeling into it and not just ripping it off. It just doesn't sound right that way. And you just have to work that till you feel it, feel that it sounds right. We'll continue on to the next pages. I composed this little Glissy Symphony song so that you could practice your glissandi, and you will see there are several of them in here, and they're going sometimes 2 octaves, sometimes 1, sometimes up, sometimes down. So we're going to work on this one a little bit. I have the rest of the notes going in lines, up and down, straight down and up the scale, so that you will be able to place just 1, 2, 3, 4. You shouldn't need fingering written in there for that either, because it's pretty much self-explanatory. When you're using your glissandi fingers, it's number 2 going up, number 1 coming down. So if you want to practice this one a little bit, print it off, go over it a few times, and then we'll play it together. We're ready to play the Glissy Symphony together now. Remember, when you play the glissandi, that they have to stop on the proper beat. They can't go over time, or the tempo on the next measure will be incorrect. So I'm going to give you a 4 count, and then a 1, 2, ready, play, and we're going to slowly play the Glissy Symphony. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. The next song we're going to learn is Greensleeves, and it has a glissando. As a matter of fact, 2 glissandos, right where the chorus starts. So we're going to be playing those with Greensleeves. It also has a pickup note, so that means that there's 2 beats on the end, 2 counts to make up for that one, because it is in 3/4 time. So it goes 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Everybody knows this song, I think, so I didn't really put a lot of counts in there. If you have trouble with it, you can listen to a recording of it or email me or something and I can send you some counting, but I think most people know Greensleeves. It's also the tune of What Child Is This that we sing at Christmas time. Okay, this is a traditional English folk tune, and it's not meant to be too fast. So we have a few notes in our left hand here that come in occasionally, and not much else new. Your brackets are there for you. The main thing in this song is the glissando, and that's there and there. I did have us repeat the chorus. So when you practice this, practice repeating the chorus. Okay? So you go over this several times, print it out, practice on it until you think you have it down pretty well, and then we will play it together. Let's play Greensleeves together now. Remember, it's in 3/4 time, and it starts on the third count of the measure. So we're going to count really slowly, and I'm going to give you a 1, 2, 3, ready, play. Now when you place your first fingers, remember you have a skipped note there, and this reoccurs throughout the song. So we're going to take this very slowly. 1, 2, 3, ready, play. Excellent. Now we're going to learn Silent Night, another Christmas favorite. Silent Night has the thirds like we did in one of the previous songs, except the whole right hand is done in this fashion. It's the twisting motion. Now most of them are thirds. There are a couple that have a little more distance. They're a fourth. When you see them piggyback, you know that there's one note in between. When you see a little space in between them, you know that there's more than one note in between. So you have to be careful and make sure you're playing the right notes. The reason you can't do thirds all the time, sometimes it doesn't go with the chords you're playing on the bottom. So you have to be careful not to play thirds when they don't match with the chord structure. Your bottom or left hand clef, bass clef here, is playing just single notes. So this song shouldn't be too difficult. There's a ledger line note at the end. It's a G in case you don't want to figure it out. C and G at the end. So let's practice on this separately and then we'll play it together. Go ahead and print it out so you have a copy for yourself. We're ready to play Silent Night together now. And it's a very slow song, so we're going to go at a slow tempo. It's in 3/4 again, no pickup measures, so I'm going to give you a 1, 2, 3, 1, ready, play. Remember the twisting motion, just like taking the cap off a ketchup bottle. Okay, one note on your left hand so you can use your second finger for all those bass clef notes. 1, 2, 3, 1, ready, play. Nice. Our last song in this lesson is You Are My Sunshine. It's a golden oldie, and it's an excellent song to play at the bedside, in hospitals, nursing facilities, for the elderly, or for children. They like this song also. It has a couple of new things in it that I wanted to teach you. First of all is the slur. A slur is a musical phrase, and here we have You Are My Sunshine, and that would be a phrase. My only sunshine. That's another phrase. It's sort of like a musical sentence. This is the way you play the song. This is the way you sing the song. So, you know, you make me happy when skies are gray. It's just the natural flow of the music into phrases. And they use this frequently on music. Don't get it confused with a tie, which ties two notes right next to each other, and they are the same note, or the thumb slide, which looks like a little bitty slur, but you'll always see 1-1 there with your fingering, or 1-1. There'll be some indication there that it's a thumb slide. The other thing, speaking of slides, is the fourth finger slide. Here it is right there. I didn't put the slur there because I didn't want to get you confused with these musical slurs up here at the top. Here it is. It's got a 4-4. This is a common way that you see it. So a thumb slide always goes down because that's the way your thumb moves on the harp. The fourth finger slide is going to go up on the harp in a different direction. Let me turn it around a little bit. There you go. It's going to go up all the time because, of course, your fourth finger can't go down. Your thumb would be going down. And then you have a sim here, which means similar. The phrases continue in a similar fashion. You see the word sim often in music, and it simply means to continue the same way. Similar. Okay, this song is only one page. It does have some placing in there, so go over it several times so that your fingers are familiar with the placing. The left hand is doing the twisty notes now, the thirds. So they'll be down here just playing those thirds off like you did on Silent Night with your right hand. So print this off, go over it several times, and then we'll play it. Now we're ready to play You Are My Sunshine. It does have a pickup measure. It comes in on and, 4, and. So you'll notice the last measure has 1 and 2 and 3. And then the rest of that measure is your pickup measure. So I'll be counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3. And then you come in on the and, 4 and. Okay, I'm going to do it slowly. It's got a lot of tricky placement. So here we go. Place your hands for that first one and we'll begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Very good. Congratulations, I knew you could do it. We've made it through lesson 5 and now we're headed for lesson 6. So I'll see you real soon.